DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Got a question up on the Facebook page. You fans, how about making the trip to Laramie for old time's sake? I just talked to a longtime Ute fan who is considering exactly that.
Your wife?
Nope.
Your son?
Nope.
Your brother?
Nope.
Your guma?
My what?
You don't have a guma?
Would that be your grandmother?
No.
Oh.
It's somebody else you might be expending sweet emotion on.
Got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Christopher Molosante, his wife's pregnant. He's got a guma. Come on.
Right.
That's just
so
not cool.
Saturday, was it Friday they bring the wives to the club and Saturday they bring the guma, or was it the wives on Saturday and the gumas on Friday?
Hey, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
It was in one of your favorite movies.
I'm faithful.
Uh-huh. But you still know about it from one of those movies.
I've never cheated on my old lady once.
But it's one of those movies.
And believe me, I've had opportunities.
Stop.
Can I tell a quick story?
Yuck. Yeah, we're going to produce on the air. Yuck. Yuck.
No.
This is why I say two guests, one at 8, one at 9. This wouldn't have happened.
We had a late cancellation yesterday.
I'm aware, but I'm just saying this is precisely why.
Talk about things that
Go ahead.
nobody cares.
Tell your story.
So my buddy Jason Reed, you know him, right?
He's been on the show.
And he's on ESPN and all, right?
And he worked for the Daily Breeze back in the day. You guys answered high school phone calls together.
I didn't. He did. He was part-time. I was big full-time.
Oh, you were already past the high school answering phones?
That was where we hired like 4 or 5 part-timers came in each night to do that because we had a billion schools, and he was one of them at that point. I knew him as a part-time. He's 19 years old. Now he's in his 50s, blah, 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 wrote that book, yada, yada.
He's hit it big.
Yeah.
He's living the dream.
And so I think he was working for the Times in Los Angeles, and we meet in Tucson for the Utes basketball.
NCAA tournament?
Yeah.
They went down there one year.
Van Horn was a senior.
Won a couple games.
Maybe a
Cruised
junior.
through it.
I can't remember.
Right.
But anyway, so we're both going to go there. He's flying from L.A. I'm flying from here, right? And the Utes are playing the Friday, Sunday, so we are going to go out on Wednesday. We get into town, and because then they get the press conferences on Thursday, right? And so we hook up. We go out to hang out. There's NBA games on, and we're at a sports bar, and this waitress is all over him. She's hitting on him big time, and my eyes are bugging out of my head, thinking, "What is going on?" He is totally turned off, and finally he looks. Oh man, I'm tired. I gotta go, and he gets up and he goes. And I'd been traveling. I lost track of time. I'm sitting there. I look at my watch. It's 7:30, which means it's only 6:30 his time.
He's tired. He's got to go.
What he did is he went outside and he waited for me. And he said, "Oh, man, that was so disgusting." I said, "She's just hitting on him big time." And he just said, "No way." It's so gross. And he's married and all, and an upstanding man, as you would assume. So I just remember that of being on the road and him just saying, "Oh,
I'm tired.
And tired. And I lost total track of time. Because I was traveling that day.
7:30. What are you, 4 years old?
Yeah. He told me, I just had to get outside. So, go ahead.
You fans, how about that trip to Laramie for old time's sake? And Steve says, well, at least it won't be freezing.
It won't be, no. Should be fine.
Kyle telling that story. It was cold, and they had the heater on the sideline, and his dad's pants caught on fire. Cracked himself up telling that story.
Hot pants?
Basically.
Oh, I'm on fire.
Had to put the fire out on Dad.
If you fans have a chance to go, I would encourage you to go. I know it takes time and money and commitment, but if you can, I think you'll have a great experience. Obviously, you're going to be favored to win. And, Wyoming, I think Wyoming folks get a bad rap. And I had been there many, many times for football and basketball, obviously. And, basketball was difficult because of the weather. And I had some harrowing experiences myself, right? It's the only place I've been driving. I'm driving up from Denver, so I'm going west on I-80 to get over to Laramie. You hit it at Cheyenne where the I-25 ends at I-80, and you go left, you go west. And the sun, I have a sunroof on my rent-a-car, and I always used to rent a freaking as big car as I can get because you just never know. And you can see the sun. The sun is shining, and you can't see 2 feet in front of you because it had snowed the day or two before, and the wind just whipping the snow right across from you, and it's completely sunny out, and you're in a snowstorm. I've never experienced that before. And that night at basketball, the Utes were so good, so they always had a lot of big Monday games, and it was just harrowing. But football was usually pretty doggone nice.
There were some November games for both teams that I remember going up there.
That's hence usually.
Right. But if you have a September-October game, which they didn't used to really have that many September games, once in a while maybe.
Early October, I can recall going up there with both teams, and it's completely fine. And, all these things that happen. And I got to say, that's the small minority. Most of the fans, they'll treat you nice. The staff treat you like gold. Now, I realize the fans aren't going to be interacting with
the staff
with
like
the
you were.
Employees, yeah. I mean, the staff there at Wyoming, nobody would treat you visiting media better. I can honestly say that. And I've been around to all these places. And they treated you like you were their literal house guest, and they wanted to make sure you had a great time. And back in the day, in basketball, I knew the guy. We'd sit behind, and right behind us would be the fans. And in those days, you didn't have your phone and all, and so they would talk to me, and they give you the stats, and I'd give them to them, and they'd pour over it. They were such loyal, hardcore fans. It's not easy being a Wyoming fan, and they were some great fans. And you'll experience it. If you had gone before, you'll experience a little bit of a throwback.
I remember moving here and having it explained to me, Bill Marcroft and Reese Stein, and asking about, there was a thing, I can't remember what the deal was. It was a Wyoming kickoff, maybe when it was first starting to get moved for TV. And the fans were, and I think it's because it got moved to 5 o'clock, which actually was funny because that's the favorite time for the poll question here. But Reese and Bill were explaining, no, people are leaving their ranches and driving 2 and 3 hours one way to see a football game.
Right. That's for sure.
And so they're worried. They're thinking, normally that game would start at noon or 1 or whatever their traditional kickoff time was. And this 5 o'clock game is going to go till 8:30, and people are going to be getting home at midnight.
Oh, for sure.
Having driven 6 hours that day.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a big deal.
In basketball, what they would do over the PA is they'd give you the road conditions of like 7 or 8 roads, freeways or whatever,
state highways
to get to
wherever you might be going, because they knew people were coming and going for there, because obviously they know where their season ticket holders are coming from.
Yeah, and so
that was basically your clue of like, okay, get a place in town, just.
Yeah, they would give you the weather reports,
particularly
in basketball.
Get a hotel room and try tomorrow, or go for it right now because the weather's good.
Yeah, they would literally give you the reports. And back then, it wasn't as easily accessible as it is now. Yeah, always had a good time there, and I felt a sense of, I don't know what's the word that I'm looking for.
Nostalgia?
Yeah, nostalgia is a good word. When the Cougars played Wyoming in the Poinsettia Bowl, the last Poinsettia Bowl, that was fun, and the Wyoming horse was there, and the Wyoming fans, they stick out. Every year you knew where the Wyoming folks were in the arena at the Thomas and Mack because of the colors. A lot of colors would blend together. Not Wyoming's colors.
A lot of different shades of red. UNLV was wearing red. Utah was wearing red. New Mexico and San Diego State were wearing red. Fresno would be in red. And then there'd be a stripe of brown and gold. I know who those people are. The rest of the time I have to wait for someone to score a bucket. And then I know.
Right.
By the cheering.
Yeah, Air Force would be blue. BYU would be blue. But the brown and gold, they stood out. And they relished that. They know they're in a extremely limited population-wise state. They know that Laramie is not a glamour location. Their coach in basketball, Joby Wright, I think his name was, he lived in Fort Collins. His wife had some health issues too and needed that, but he would commute.
45 minutes?
Yeah. If you went up that, I think it's 287 was that road. So they understand all that, and they revel in it, man. And my experience was they were solid people, really solid people.
David says, I'll be there Saturday. Tickets were still semi-reasonable. He says, let's not talk about Utah or BYU tickets. Holy cow.
Right.
And even high school games over $10 now.
Yeah. I don't know what the prices are, but I would imagine that they are reasonable. And you get to go on the road. You get to be with your team. You're most likely going to win the game. And it's outside of BYU, there's not a shorter, I guess Vegas maybe, if you played UNLV or played at Allegiant Stadium in terms of drivable distance. If you can go, and it's one road. You get on I-80 and you are good to go.
Nate says, I'll go only if Coach flips off Coach Whittingham. Then it'll be old time's sake. Matt, I was at the game when the Utes did an onside kick up 40-0 on Wyoming and got flipped off by Joe Glenn after he guaranteed a victory against the Utes early in the week. Those were good times.
How many years was Kyle into his head coaching job at that point?
2 or 3.
Okay, he's a different person.
Yeah. I think that game was before the Sugar Bowl, which was his 4th year.
Yeah. He would never do that now. No. It would be
He was breathing fire at that point.
Yeah, and you have to look at Kyle Whittingham and I try to understand people and where they're coming from. Sometimes I do a crappy job, but he's an undersized guy to play linebacker, right? And he
had to bring some fire.
Yeah. Right.
And he started coaching, and he still had the fire.
Right. And he has to succeed. Urban Meyer, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
So Kyle's first year, they beat Wyoming at home 43-13, and it was one of like 3 straight whoopings they put on him. It had like a 6-game win streak. They went up to Laramie his second year and lost 31-15, so he's probably already on fire about that loss.
So it's his third year?
So his third year, 07, they win 50-0.
That was the onside
That must have been 40-0 with an onside kick.
Union. Hey guys, we're going to beat them. Hey, you got to be accountable for what you say. You just can't say anything and get away with it. You've got to be on the record, and when you go on the record, you must pay for your consequences. He's not going to do that now. You got to allow people some leeway here.
Mm-hmm. And people grow and change over 20 years, it turns out. And his job, you forget he was on the hot seat there at the start.
No question.
16-13 record early in his third season, which is the one where he does the SO. And there was plenty of speculation. I distinctly remember asking you at the end of a show when we'd been talking about it, what's Kyle's future? What do they have to do? What's success? What isn't? And because he started, I think, 1-3 that year and got shut out of Vegas, and it was like it was going the wrong way.
It was.
And you looked at me just totally, and you really thought about it. It wasn't smart ass PK.
Wow.
It was rock solid journalist reporting PK, and you're like, it's 50-50. Anything could happen. He could get it together and get on a roll, or it could just keep going wrong.
And I was nervous for him.
Yeah.
Because it turned out I like the guy. Everybody knows that.
We're talking about it, and he's literally about to get on the roll of a lifetime.
I know. The amount of winning that they had.
They went 8-1. It
was off the charts.
They went 8-1 to finish the year. They went 12-0 the next year, and then they posted back-to-back 10-3s.
Yeah, guys winning all the time. If they lost, it was a shock.
Yeah.
And at that point, he cemented. He's good to go.
40 wins, 7 losses to finish his Mountain West portion of his career and into the Pac-12.
Yeah, in those days, he had big ears.
He did.
And big eyes.
He did.
And now,
there was
nothing.
There was a story along those lines about, it was a bad start. And, there's some reference to digging a hole. And the graphics department at the Trib decided to put a backhoe. We would call it, photoshopping now. Then it was graphics work. But it was like Photoshop a backhoe in there and digging a hole at midfield. And he was mad at the reporter. It was Michael C. Lewis. And I remember I was with him right after it came out. How could he do that? I'm like, Michael doesn't do the graphics. There's 0 chance. He probably didn't know about the graphic until either someone told him or he saw it in the paper in the morning. Those departments are talking. And he's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. But he doesn't worry about that stuff now. Long since stopped worrying about that stuff.
Yes, and rightly so. Because once you start worrying about those things,
you're distracted from the main thing.
It becomes the beginning of the end, or where it's going to end. How many coaches have had big explosions, and they end up being okay. Like Sarkisian's thing that he said 2 days ago.
That wasn't good.
That made me nervous for him.
Yeah.
Because that was, I told the guys in my golf league, and they hadn't heard about it, and they busted up. Like, what? What are you talking about? I said it was unexplainable. It made no sense. It was ridiculous. And that tends to be a thin-skinned person, and in this business, you got to just take your shots. Shots are going to be taken at you, and you're just going to have to roll with it. I do think there's fewer shots more than ever because I think the media, it's far more acceptable, and maybe this is my bias, but it's far more acceptable to be a fan now. And almost to the point of being open. And so I don't think that they get what they don't get the grilling that they used to get. But some places, that's not the same.
I think that a big part of it is that they get fired now. It used to be you had 5 years, you had the contract, and you had your 5-year plan, you played it out. And so if a coach was struggling by year 3, there's 2.5 years for the columnists to write the stories about can this guy do it or not. And now you maybe write one of those stories, and some boosters writing the buyout, the fans are way more on fire. The boosters are way more on fire than the fans or the media, and they just pull the ripcord and away you go.
I think social media has led to that.
Yeah, and I think
it's more
that
public now.
Right. I think Gundy at Oklahoma State and maybe Ferentz at Iowa.
That's Gandhi. Not Mahama, as in G-O-N-E.
Those two have been on the job for so long that's more old school in the way that there's been a long time to write, hey, the offense at Iowa isn't good enough. The quarterbacking at Iowa isn't good enough. And now it's been multiple coordinators and multiple coaches, so it's on, or multiple offensive coordinators and multiple quarterbacks, so it's on the head coach. There's been time to write that story and develop it, but most places just a whirlwind and boom, the coach is gone.
Yeah, and then you've got the national stuff too, that weigh in that you maybe didn't have, and they could put coaches on the hot seat so they can perpetuate what they call the narrative on that, and it can gain a life of its own. Yeah. I saw something on social media, some lady, probably in her 30s, maybe early 40s, they asked her what she would do if she won the lottery. And she said she would pay off DeBoer's contract at Alabama.
No way.
Yeah.
That'd be the last thing that I would do if I won the lottery. I would be paying off no coach's contract.
Because he had some massive buyout. And it matters that much to her that
and there's a difference
Crimson
between
Tide win games.
Alabama, San Diego State, and UC Santa Barbara. I wouldn't be buying out any coaches.
She may have been joking, but that was her response. And I saw the video of it and it didn't sound like she was joking.
And you're right about national people, coaches on the hot seat. Pat Forty's got 5 coaches on the hot seat, and I bet you can guess them.
Pat $1.40?
Mm-hmm. His 40-yard dash. He does that thing.
Oh, that's clever.
Uh-huh. And you know the coaches. Who's on the hot seat? College football.
Kalen DeBoer.
He did not put him on the list.
No?
Yeah.
I think he is. The guy at Michigan, what's his name, Moore?
Sharon Moore, yeah.
Yeah. And these are big-time programs that are big-time winning is required. You don't get 3 and 4 years at these places.
He has Ferentz and Gundy, and he has Deshaun Foster at UCLA.
But that's always. Mm-hmm. You could put that the day after the new coach gets the job, put that coach on the job.
Billy Napier. Billy Napier
of
at Florida.
Of course. Yeah.
And he has Brent Pry at Virginia Tech, who somewhat surprisingly got a 4th season despite a 16-21 record. And now they're 0-2.
Yeah, I'm not following Virginia Tech.
I wasn't either.
I don't even know. I couldn't even. I don't know if I could have named you the name of the coach.
I could not have. I was surprised. And then I saw 16-21. That just goes to we are so immersed in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 16. He's 16-21. 0-2 in his 4th year. So there you go. There's his 5. Yeah, he didn't have Michigan on the hot seat yet.
Well, I actually even saw a list of candidates for Napier's job. Lanning was on it.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. Coming up top of the hour, Alex Taylor, Wyoming Cowboy beat writer for the Laramie Boomerang and the Wyoming Tribune Eagle. He's got an AP vote. He thinks the Utes are very, very good. We will talk with him about that and the game this weekend coming up at 9 o'clock. It's a Win Tickets Wednesday. We're giving those tickets away coming up in about 20 minutes right here. Oh, you want to do it next? Yak wants to do it next. So concert tickets right after the break. Stay tuned.
Accessing.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.
The man who graces us with his presence every Tuesday at this time, it is Ian Fitzsimmons.
I'm begging you, just a message to the Red Raiders and to the Utes. Deliver this outstanding game to us next weekend. Everyone talks about John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle going from Washington State to Oklahoma. But, Dan Pierre, if you want to call it the JV version of that OC and that quarterback coming in from Mexico, go right ahead. But they ain't playing like JV, man. They look good. And that O-line, that D-line, we talked about it before week one. This is a team that is hell-bent to prove that last year was a fluke. And they're doing it right now. They're trucking anybody in front of them. So, Wyoming, I hope you're next for the old Kyle Whittingham bus to come and run you over. And then let's get ready for a hell of a contest next week.
Catch Hans and Scotty weekdays from noon to 3 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's a Win Tickets Wednesday. Caller 12 right now. 801-575-ZONE wins a pair of tickets to see Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace with Return to Dust. Saturday, September 27th at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. Call now. Caller 12, 801-575-ZONE.
I just clicked on ESPN, and they posted a story that Alabama got a top 50 commit in basketball, Terrace Bowie. Only thing I can assume is that BYU didn't want him.
Oh, nice. Can't take all the top 50.
Why not?
Don't have that many roster spots.
Well, you can have like the Monarchs.
Back to the BYU JV.
Well, anytime I see a top whatever, and I think, wow, man, BYU must not wanted him.
Tony Bryant, rejected by BYU, so he went to Missouri.
The number 33 player, ranked 33rd on ESPN 100. Trimmed his list: Alabama, Cincinnati, Georgetown, Marquette, Mississippi State, NC State, Ole Miss, and Texas. But he's going to Alabama.
Alabama.
I knew Alabama would, but just morph into a basketball school.
Used to have a coach who wore a red and white checked sports coat. Wimp Sanderson, I think was his name.
Yeah.
That was Alabama hoops when I was a kid.
I think Oates has broken it out a couple of times.
Yes, they've had some good teams.
But, I mean, he's wore that coat
Oh, yeah.
as sort of a reminder. Yeah. I've been in that arena. The Utes played there many years ago.
It was a big deal at the time.
Yeah, going down to Alabama, and then Alabama came back here. I think they were number one. I think I was Britain's team, and they beat them.
Yep. And there was a court storming, and people could have been hurt.
That is one of the most overplayed.
I know, that's why
people
I said
could die. Nobody's died from a court storming. It's just, you have to have an order. There's got to be rules to court storming.
Mm-hmm.
Students.
No 40-year-olds?
If you have a child under 10.
So you can storm to protect the 10-year-old from the 20-year-old trampling.
When you're a 10-year-old and you're seeing a 20-year-old, this is like bigger than life, those players. So then the students go first, and then you have it in 5-minute increments. And that ought to give you enough time to get off the floor. And it ought to be said, if you storm the floor, you do it at your own risk. So if you get in a player's face.
That's what they're really afraid of, is the visiting player. The home team wins. It's a big upset. The home fans storm the court. Somebody says something, and a visiting player snaps. That's what everyone's trying to avoid.
Well, then they have rules.
Yep.
Don't get in a visitor's face. Ignore them completely. If they are in your path, move out of the way and let them proceed in an orderly fashion to the locker room. Yes, don't get in anybody's face from the other team. Mm-hmm. If you do that, then that doesn't remove the responsibility of the player, but that also doesn't remove the responsibility of the player whacks you, which rarely happens. If it were to happen, you need to have responsibility too. And I think by and large, the Ute fans have been great about storming the field I mean, they're very good at it. And then the one idiot tries to get in Broncos' face.
And it becomes legend.
Yes.
Good thing he was wearing suspenders.
And then that was in the early days of Twitter. And then I put it out there because I was standing, not less than 10 feet away. And I put it out there. And guys accused me of making bleep up. And then when they saw the video, they deleted their tweets.
The video appears. No accountability. Yeah. You should onside kicked on him.
But this idea of would they fine Ole Miss for doing this? This is ridiculous. Fine them. They won a big game, or Mississippi State, I think it was, last week.
Mm-hmm. In dramatic fashion.
They beat the Sun Devils.
Long touchdown pass with 30 seconds left.
They're only the fourth team who's beat Dillingham.
They just have to storm after every win. And when you go 2-10, they're just happy to win a game. They win 2-10.
Who?
Mississippi State.
Oh, they're not going. That's
happy
last
to win
year.
A game. Yeah, but I know. But their fans are happy to win a game. They just went through 2-10.
No, but that's last year.
It is last year. I get that.
But Mississippi State has had fine teams. Dan Mullen coached there.
Mm-hmm. That was probably that might be their best run. He might have done the best work there.
They're fine, which is why I can't believe that you downplayed him and didn't think he'd be able to beat UC Los Angeles.
I did not.
I tried to teach you, but you don't want to learn.
Well, I'd seen a little bit of that Idaho State game, and they had two starters back, and I was scared.
I've seen all of the Utah game.
Uh-huh.
They suck.
They do. I believe you.
You mark my words.
Will he have the worst record at UCLA in 50 years? Will this team completely unravel?
I'd say 63 years.
What do you got, New Mexico or UCLA now?
I'm going with the Lobos all the way. And it's funny that we had those guys talking early. Man, if they can beat Utah, they can start 4-0. They're not even going to get to 4 wins on the season.
It doesn't look like it. It's like they got New Mexico and Northwestern, and they will not be favored in any games after that. They may pull an upset, but I don't think they're going to be favored.
Yeah, and then they're going to give up.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to pack it in.
If they get down a score to it against New Mexico, what happens? They pack it in right then? And the wheels just come completely off?
Yeah, I'd have to see the complexion of the game on that. And then we're going to have another 5-star quarterback who just isn't good enough and gets all this hype.
And all the money.
Is he the next Ongulele?
Good enough to play, but not good enough to be a star.
Yeah, but then they start bouncing around. I mean, how many years is he in Westwood? Can't you see him transferring?
He's still a sophomore, so yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to guarantee that anybody stays anywhere 3 years. They either the kid wants to go, or the kid finds out they're recruiting over the top of him, or bringing in another transfer, and they head off somewhere to play.
Or the program just sucks, and you want to win a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, a new head coach wants a new quarterback. That wouldn't be surprising.
Oh, they're not going to fire Deshaun Foster after 2 years.
They don't have the money. They got Big Ten money now.
So what?
I know they got to give some of it to Cal.
I mean,
just let
why
football
hire
struggle.
him if you're only giving him 2 years? It's not like
struggle.
he took over Alabama.
Let football struggle and put the money in basketball.
I don't think you can let football struggle. I think there's too much at stake.
Well, if the team quits and it all unravels. They need to beat
it's already
They
unraveled.
need to beat New Mexico and Northwestern really badly.
I think they do. I agree with your point.
And then
find themselves a way to get 2-2, and then you're looking at trying to get the 6 wins for the bowl eligibility. And that becomes the primary goal.
Yep.
And then if you get that, well, you can say you've shown progress. And you have. You have shown progress. I think fan bases and administrations, you have to have some sense of realism here. What are you trying to accomplish? Now, what you're trying to accomplish versus what other program is trying to accomplish, it may be two different things. It's like retirement plans. They're all not the same. That's why Trajan Wealth can help all of you. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you
Well,
did
you got to
there.
have here with the Yak's making faces. You got to have reasonable expectations for your program may not be reasonable expectations for the program down the street or in the conference, right? And I think that's what you have to set up. Where are you on the totem pole? And how much is it going to take to get there? What are your checklists of goals? You know, we talk about everybody wants to go undefeated, and then if they have one loss in the non-conference, well, we've got the conference season. And then if they have one loss in the conference season, hey, man, no one's going undefeated. You know, and so you check them off. And for BYU last year, the dream literally stayed alive all 12 games of winning the conference title, in this case getting to the conference playoff game. And for Utah, in a shocking manner, by November, it was find a way to get to 6. It
all fell apart, yeah.
Although I wonder how bad they really wanted to get to 6. Because that meant you had to practice more and had to play in a crappy bowl as opposed to you could be done.
They don't want to have a losing season because it sounds and looks terrible. But you're right. The desire to stick around for a few more weeks at that point was low. But the alternative was 5 and 7. They hated that too. You were left with bad choices.
Well, yeah, but either way is bad. I think what they did then, they wanted to make sure that they won the last game. So the seniors go out the right way. And then you were gratefully done, and that was it. And you put that to bed, and away you go. And then for the seniors, they go on and do their thing.
Go find your coordinator, go find your quarterback, and get on with it.
Right. And here we are this year, and now and I think it's true for Utah, I think their expectation of their fan base is accurate. Get to the playoff and see what you can do there. I think some folks with the Utes, they're a little bit overboard thinking, oh, man, we can compete with
Ohio State.
The best. I'm not so sure about that. But everybody else, I think you can. Yeah.
Well, we saw that in the playoffs last year with all the blowouts, and there were a few exceptions, but not many. And the ASU Texas game was one of them. It might be the only one.
Yeah.
So there really are tiers.
There are. Yeah.
And like you can get to the top 10, but you can still be a long way from the top 4.
Uh-huh. I agree with that. And I've got zero problem putting Utah in that second group. And we'll see if BYU, where they are. Maybe not this year, but man, if they find a way to get 8-9 wins and you got Grizzly Bear coming back, that changes everything. And you got the cash over here.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, possibly.
DJ PK, it's 97.5 The Zone.
You've been listening to The Zone for decades. Yes! But now you can watch the guys break down your favorite teams.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Catch the video stream of DJ and PK, Jake and Ben, Hanson, Scotty, and JJ and Alex right now at KSLSports.com or by searching KSL Sports on YouTube. Utah's best sports radio is on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The Mr. Mac Utah County High School Player of the Week this week was Westlake High School defensive back Finn Moore. He helped the Thunder beat South San Francisco, California 45-7 as he tallied a 48-yard pick six and also returned a kick 68 yards for a touchdown, in addition to contributing 2 tackles on defense. Don't miss the KSL Sports Game Night live game of the week this week as the Syracuse Titans take on the Alta Hawks. Catch the action Friday night on KSLSports.com, the KSL Sports app, or here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Utah County Player of the Week Award is proudly presented by Mr. Mac. No one buys, no one sells, no one cares the way they do. Absolutely no one.
Way to dunk it. Question of the morning. How could this happen? An AP voter moved Florida up 2 spots on her ballot after losing to South Florida. Police.
Please?
P-U-H-L-E-E-E-E-A-Z-E-Y. No, that'd be Pleasy. Sorry,
Man, I
screwed
fell
up at the end.
asleep on that one.
So it's pretty simple, isn't it? She was tired. She was in a hurry. She looked at last week's AP Top 25 and Move Team. She didn't look at her ballot from last week, and hence the mistake.
What do you mean we're all tired. We're all overworked, underappreciated. You think Kobe Bryant gave up because he was tired?
Nope, and he's not the voter who messed up the top 25.
There's no excuse.
The Mamba mentality was made by other people who got their ballots correct.
Now, you're hesitant to read responses, which means that there's a lot of gender abuse there.
There's tons of them here. Hold on.
Right.
We got off this on the last one. That's why I brought it back up. There's a ton of response here. Kevin Graham getting shout-outs. I had forgotten about this. Chris, Kevin Graham may have been onto something with Quoof. You don't remember Quoof?
No.
Oh, he made a big deal of it. We can bring up Quoof when he comes on this week.
What is it?
Keep women out of football.
You know, you got to be careful on that.
Kevin never was. He just sprinted.
Now, this is a female.
So one person, whole group. There you go.
Yeah, let's be careful on that.
Don, popularity contest, nothing more. The polls are a total joke. Larry, just shows you how stupid the AP poll is.
Well, then why do we put so much emphasis on it if it's so stupid?
And why do we allow it to craft national narratives?
Why do we allow it
'Cause
to
it's
craft?
fun.
To craft
National
national narratives. Man.
You know, when you said that, I thought there's a 0%
Wow.
chance that PK lets that go.
Craft national narratives.
narratives.
Man, I could just sit back and think, wow, what a sentence. The syntax on that was simply beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Josh, who is she and why does she have a vote? Because she covers college football in Southern California.
That is correct.
There you go.
Why does anybody have a vote? The vote was because they want representation from all regions.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore so like we're having this young fella here coming up, Wyoming, and he has a vote. You need representation from all regions.
Joining us next, representing the great state of Wyoming and the Wyoming Tribune Eagle and the Laramie Boomerang, Alex Taylor.
The thing about the boomerang is no matter what you write, it comes back to you.
Wyoming Cowboys beat writer and a guy who was very high on the University of Utah.
I was always intrigued by boomerangs. How do they do that?
Don't know.
It's amazing to me.
We'll ask him about that next. Utah, Wyoming, get the lowdown on the Cowboys, and he is ranking the Utes much higher than most people in the country. We'll talk to him about that next. Stay with us.